What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm picking the games for NFL Week 4. So let's get started with tonight's game, the Eagles and Packers. The Packers are currently undefeated. They are 3-0 this year, and the Eagles, they're off to a rough start. They're 1-2. They lost to the Lions last week. Speaking of which, we will get to them here in a little bit, and we will talk about them for a little while. But anyway, as far as this game goes, I think the Packers are going to win this. I just feel like they've been too good this year. They've shown that they can win games again. They've returned to that top-tier playoff potential Packers team that we saw before. So I think the Packers will win this one over the Eagles, with the final score being 17-10. Redskins and Giants. The Redskins, they lost to the Bears right there, 31-15 on Monday Night Football. And the Giants, they got their first win of the season last week. And if I remember correctly, I think that was against the Bucks. Yep, 32-31 over the Bucks. I think the Giants are going to take this. I think that now, because Daniel Jones is starting instead of Eli Manning, I think that the Giants now have enough potential to win some games, and I think that this will be one of the games that they win this year. So I think that the Giants will defeat the Redskins with the final score being 27-17. Chiefs and Lions, a undefeated duel. Because believe it or not, the Lions are undefeated. They have only won 2 games, but they have not lost any. They're 2-0-1. They tied on opening week to the Cardinals. They defeated the Chargers in week 2, and now last week in week 3, they beat the Eagles. But somebody's streak has to end here, unless it's another tie for the Lions this year. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get the W. I just feel like we are way too good for the Lions to be able to stop us. I just feel like the Lions this year, they've been good, but it seems like their opponents haven't been doing good in the games against them. So I think my Chiefs are going to win this one in Detroit, by the way. I think my Chiefs will win this one with a final score of 35-21. Titans and Falcons. Titans last week lost to the Jaguars on Thursday night. I did not see that coming. And the Falcons, what did they do? They lost to the Colts by a field goal. I think that this week the Falcons are going to take this game because, 1, it's in Atlanta, and 2, I just feel like the Falcons are a better all-around team. Like, the Titans are good, but I just feel like Atlanta has that slight edge over them. So I think the Falcons are going to win this game, with the final score being a very close match, with the final score being 27 for Atlanta and 24 for the Titans. Browns and Ravens. Ravens, week 3, lost to my Chiefs. That means that both of Lamar Jackson's regular season L's are against Patrick Mahomes. And then the Browns, what did they do? They lost to the Rams in a boring game, 20-13. I think that this week the Ravens are going to have a bounce back week after losing to my Chiefs. So I think that the Ravens are going to win this one. However, I do think it will be kind of close. I think the Ravens will win this one with the final score being 21-17. Raiders and Colts. Raiders. What did they do last week? They got destroyed by the Vikings. And again, the Colts beat the Falcons. I think the Colts are going to take this one. They've been surprising a lot of people this year. Like, so far, they're off to a good start. 2-1 is not bad. That is not a bad record for the first 3 games. And I feel like the Colts, they're the better team over the Raiders easily. So I think the Colts are going to win this one with the final score being 24-21. Patriots and Bills, both teams are undefeated. Bills 3-0, Patriots 3-0. As much as it kills me to say this, I think the Patriots are going to win this week. I think they're going to put an end to the Bills' winning streak so far this year. They're going to put an end to their current undefeated season. And the Patriots are going to beat the Bills in Buffalo with a final score of 28-24. Panthers and Texans. The Panthers. What did y'all do last week? Well, first of all, Texans beat the Chargers 27-20, and Panthers beat the Cardinals by 18. I think the Texans are going to take this. I think that, again, they're the better all-around team, plus it's in Houston. So, I think the Texans are going to take this with Deshaun Watson still being their starting quarterback, and now the Panthers having to resort to using Kyle Allen, who did pretty good last week. He threw 4 touchdowns and almost 300 yards, which, if Patrick Mahomes didn't play last week, he probably would have won AFC Player of the Week last week. But that didn't happen, but they still got the win. But I think the Texans are going to beat the Panthers with the final score being 31-21. Chargers and Dolphins. Dolphins, you have been worse than the Browns were 2 years ago. Like, seriously. Zilch in 3. And in one of those games against the Patriots, y'all dropped a big old goose egg. A big old zilch. Nada. Nothing. 0. I think that the Chargers are going to take this one pretty easily. Nothing else needs to be said, though. So I think the Chargers are going to win this game with the final score being 38-13. Buccaneers and Rams. Buccaneers lost to Giants. Rams defeated Browns. I don't know why I'm saying it like this, but I can. I think the Rams are obviously going to win this one. Like, this isn't even a fair matchup. Like, it's in LA. It's Rams versus Buccaneers. I just think that the Rams are going to win this one. Enough said. I think the final score will end up being Rams 30 and Buccaneers 10. Seahawks and Cardinals. Seahawks. What did you do last week? Lost to the Saints. And again, Cardinals lost to Panthers. So, I think the Seahawks are the all-around better team. I feel like they're just the more competitive team. And they have that slight edge over the Cardinals. Even though this is in Arizona, I still think the Seahawks will win. with the final score being, one second, with the final score being Seahawks 28, Cardinals 21. Vikings and Bears. Vikings destroyed last week. Again, don't remember who they did destroy. I think it was I don't know. I don't remember who it was. And the Bears, they won last week as well, at least from what I remember. Yep. So, I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Again, I just feel like they're the better all-around team. And, however, I do think that this will be a close matchup. It's in Chicago. So I think this will be a close matchup. I think the Vikings will just barely edge out the Bears with a final score of 31-28. Jaguars and Broncos. Jaguars defeated the Titans last week. And the Broncos, I do not remember what they did either. They lost to the Packers. I think the Jaguars are going to take this one, but just barely. I think that the Jaguars will win this game against the Broncos with a final score of 17-14. Cowboys and Saints. Cowboys destroyed Dolphins last week. So, I think that, and the Saints, they beat the Seahawks. This week, I think the Saints will continue their dominance. I think that even without Drew Brees, they're still way too good to lose to the Cowboys. And I think that the Saints will win this, also because it's in New Orleans. I think they will win this game with a final score of 27-21. And Monday night, Bengals and Steelers. Finally, one of these two teams is going to get a win. And I think it's going to be Pittsburgh. Why? One, it's in Pittsburgh. And two, Pittsburgh is actually a decent football team. They've just been put up against tough opponents. And it's just been a tough season for them already. So I think that the Steelers are going to take this game over the Bengals. I think that the Steelers will win with a final score of 21-17. Alright guys, so that is my picks for week 4 of the NFL season. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, share everything that's good, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.